On August 20, 1977, a small spacecraft, no larger than a family car, embarked on a journey few believed would endure. Voyager 2 was sent to explore the outer planets for a limited mission of just a few years. Instead, it exceeded every expectation, defying them at every turn. It crossed worlds, recorded history, and drifted quietly into the void of space. Now, 45 years later, as it reaches the edge of the known universe, something extraordinary has occurred. The spacecraft sent back a series of images, and then fell silent. These final frames have left scientists stunned, not only for what they reveal but for the unsettling questions they raise. A question now spreads like wildfire. Did Voyager 2 discover something, or did something discover Voyager? Voyager 2 was never designed for this moment. Its cameras, primitive by modern standards, had not been activated since its Neptune flyby in 1989. They were shut down long ago to conserve power, a relic on a spacecraft that was already considered a marvel of endurance. Yet in early 2025, engineers at NASA powered up the imaging system one last time, a routine recalibration intended to peer briefly into the darkness. Days passed with nothing but dust and faint starlight. Then, faintly, a triangular shadow appeared at the edge of a frame. At first, it was dismissed, perhaps a cosmic ray or a data glitch. But the shape returned in subsequent frames, moving ever so slightly. Analysts at JPL designated it Anomaly X7. When exposure was increased, the spacecraft captured something massive, spanning dozens of miles and faintly glowing in infrared. It was not a natural formation. Its geometry and symmetry were precise, almost deliberate, and most disconcerting of all, it seemed to be oriented toward Voyager itself. The last frame, received just hours before the camera shut down permanently, revealed a sudden burst of light, followed by static. The camera did not fail from power loss or malfunction, it simply refused to turn on again. Voyager 2 was not dead. Its core systems continued transmitting data. But 72 hours after sending its last image, the spacecraft executed an unexpected movement, a precise 14-degree rotation eastward. In all of its decades of service, Voyager had never shifted course without command. NASA engineers raced to find an explanation, mechanical glitch, gyro failure. But the data contradicted those theories. The movement was smooth, calculated, and when the antenna repositioned, it pointed directly at Earth, as if trying to communicate a warning. Simulations, trajectory models, and all standard analyses failed to explain the behavior. The only conclusion that remained: the probe had seen something. Though Voyager 2 lacks a microphone, it is equipped with instruments capable of detecting subtle cosmic phenomena. Magnetometers, plasma wave detectors, and radiation counters began recording unusual signals shortly after the mysterious turn. A low-frequency hum emerged, repeating every 17 seconds. Initially dismissed as background noise, the rhythm gradually revealed itself as patterned, echoing like a sonar ping through interstellar space. Eye specialists were brought in to decode the signal, isolating a binary stream embedded within the electromagnetic pulses. When translated, it appeared to be a countdown, numbers decreasing with each loop, culminating on a date with no known astronomical significance, July 28, 2025. There was no precedent, no event predicted for that day. Voyager 2 drifted some 12 billion miles from Earth, transmitting this cosmic heartbeat with a steady, unnerving rhythm. Internal NASA memos, later leaked, revealed emergency meetings involving scientists, defense analysts, and observatories worldwide. The implications were chilling. Some suggested radiation interference. Others proposed gravitational lensing. Yet the timing, the deliberate spacecraft rotation, and the images themselves hinted at something deliberate. Some researchers whispered the unthinkable. Voyager 2 had photographed something it was never meant to encounter. Something ancient, active, a relic or even a presence. The probes turned back toward Earth. The transmission of a countdown, and the subsequent silence suggested that it was no longer simply drifting, it was being observed. And whatever it saw might be approaching. Typically, deep space transmissions suffer from image degradation. Pixels drift, noise accumulates, entropy dominates. But the final image before Voyager's camera fell silent defied these expectations. Amid the static and bursts of light, analysts detected persistent structure where randomness should have prevailed. When filtered through spectrographic layers, a faint grid emerged, pulsing at harmonics consistent with the Fibonacci ratio. The image refused to decay, maintaining a geometric integrity that suggested intelligence or design. Voyager 2, the long-forgotten explorer, had captured not just a view of distant space, but evidence of something beyond comprehension. A signal, a structure, a presence, waiting in the void. On August 20, 1977, a modest spacecraft, roughly the size of a family car, set out on a journey few expected to survive the test of time. Voyager 2 was launched to explore the outer planets, its mission initially slated to last only a handful of years. Yet it surpassed every expectation, exceeding its original purpose at every stage. It traversed worlds, documented history, and eventually drifted silently into the depths of interstellar space. Now, 45 years later, as it nears the edge of what humanity can observe, something extraordinary has occurred. Voyager 2 transmitted a series of images, and then went silent. These final frames left scientists not just amazed, but deeply unsettled. The question spreading through the scientific community is simple yet terrifying. Did Voyager 2 find something, or did something find Voyager? The spacecraft was never intended for this moment. Its cameras, rudimentary by today's standards, had not been activated since its Neptune flyby in 1989. Long deactivated to conserve power, they had become relics aboard an already legendary machine. Yet in early 2025, NASA engineers powered them on one last time as part of a routine check, a brief gaze into the void. For days, the images were unremarkable, only faint stars and scattered cosmic dust. Then, faintly, a triangular shadow appeared on the edge of a frame. At first, it was dismissed as a cosmic ray or data anomaly. But the shape returned in subsequent frames, shifting slightly with each exposure. Analysts at JPL designated it Anomaly X7. With increased exposure, Voyager captured something massive, stretching dozens of miles, glowing faintly in infrared. It was not natural. Its symmetry, its geometry, suggested deliberate construction, and most unnerving of all, it seemed to be oriented directly toward the spacecraft. The last image, received just hours before the camera went permanently dark, showed a sudden flash of light followed by static. The camera didn't fail from lack of power or malfunction, it simply refused to operate again. Voyager 2 was not truly dead. Its core systems continued sending data. Then, 72 hours after the last image, the spacecraft executed an unexpected maneuver, a precise 14-degree rotation eastward. In decades of service, Voyager had never moved without command. NASA engineers scrambled to explain it, mechanical failure, gyro malfunction, but the data told a different story. The rotation was smooth, deliberate, and when the antenna repositioned, it pointed straight at Earth, almost as if issuing a warning. Simulations, trajectory models, and every known analysis failed to account for this behavior. The only remaining explanation: the probe had encountered something. Though Voyager 2 lacks audio equipment, its scientific instruments are sensitive to subtle cosmic phenomena. Magnetometers, plasma wave detectors, and radiation sensors all picked up unusual signals following the maneuver. A low-frequency hum emerged, repeating every 17 seconds. Initially dismissed as background noise, the hum gradually revealed a pattern, pulsing like a sonar ping echoing across the stars. Eye specialists were called in to analyze the signal. Their work uncovered a binary sequence embedded within the electromagnetic pulses. When decoded, it appeared to be a countdown, looping continuously, counting down to a date with no known astronomical significance, July 28, 2025. No event was predicted for that day. Voyager 2 drifted roughly 12 billion miles from Earth, transmitting this ominous cosmic pulse with steady, relentless precision. Internal NASA communications, later leaked, revealed urgent meetings involving scientists, defense analysts, and observatories worldwide. The implications were chilling. Some speculated it was radiation interference, others gravitational lensing. Yet the combination of the countdown, the spacecraft's calculated rotation, and the images themselves suggested something intentional. Some researchers dared to whisper a frightening possibility. Voyager 2 had seen something it was never meant to encounter, something ancient, active, perhaps even sentient. The probe's unexpected turn, its transmission of a countdown, and the subsequent silence hinted that it was no longer merely drifting through space, it was being observed. And whatever it had detected might be moving toward us. In most deep space transmissions, image degradation is inevitable. Pixels blur, noise creeps in, and entropy takes hold. But Voyager's final image defied these expectations. Amid static and bursts of light, a persistent structure emerged where randomness should have prevailed. When examined through spectrographic analysis, faint grid patterns appeared, pulsing in harmonics consistent with the Fibonacci ratio. The image resisted decay, retaining an order that suggested intelligence or deliberate design. Voyager 2, long forgotten by many, had captured more than a distant glimpse of space. It had recorded evidence of something beyond human comprehension, a presence or structure lingering in the void.